Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Game 3 of the Ace match is upon us for our opening best of 3 today. Voidboys versus Team Wheel. I'm not sure who's going to take it, Purge. It's been a pretty close series so far.
Yeah, game 1 was obscenely close. I feel like maybe Voidboys should just go back to more of a standard hard carry with Patzel because he does such a good job on that. Seemed like either his team didn't have the best organization or maybe he just felt like taking it super late and they got wrecked by a strat they didn't expect. So I don't know. It could definitely go both ways, but I'm going to say I think Wheel maybe has an advantage here because they did play so well. That last game was very convincing, and the game before that was like a nice edge. So yeah, I think they have a bit of a higher chance.
Let's see if you're right. We'll move into the draft, see what these teams are working on. Look at that first band there. Voidboys showing some respect. They do not want to go up against that Omni Knight. Yeah,
Omni was a big problem last game.
Yeah, I can't say that I blame them. They also ban out the Chen, so not going for the Holy Masters this go around. They'll first pick the Vengeful Spirit, and that leaves open a Lion and whatever Wheel want with their second to get things kicked off.
Yeah, it's very common to pick your supports in the first pick because then your opponents have no idea what you're actually going to draft. You're like, oh, they have Avenge. That could mean actually anything because that hero is good against just about all scenarios. So, and the same with Lion. Grab with those good supports that will likely get banned later since there aren't. I would say that there aren't a lot of good supports right now is what most people would maybe argue. Usually there's a bit more variety in most cases, but Venge and Lion are definitely the top two most picked right now. So those heroes will get more nerfs soon. Beastmaster picked. That's a good hero with auras. I think Beastmaster is pretty good personally. You can lane him a lot of different ways. Off lane, you can put a mid. You can scale your pig a lot better. You can get it at level 1 now instead of level 2. So he's easier to utilize in the off lane for stacking and stuff. And, you know, stuns are good, so Roar is pretty awesome, and it goes through Black King bars. So.
Yeah. Seeing him pick up this early, I wonder if they have something in mind with that Hawk. I mean, the Beastmaster Tinker combo is one thing that comes to mind, but all sorts of fun stuff you can do with those BOTs to move around the map. Great Rochan control.
Beastmaster Brood is possible as well, because you can TP on spiders if you get a BOTs. There's a couple different options that you can do with them. We're seeing a Jug ban this game, which is... I'm curious why they banned Jug this game, but hasn't been banned before. I won't necessarily say he's amazing synergy with Beastmaster, but it's okay, I guess. He gives attack speed. I just don't see like a huge amount of synergy between the two. Oh, pushing probably. I would say, yeah, pushing.
The healing ward with the Zoo is pretty scary.
Yep, that's why.
So Sniper Spec banned out by Wheel, and they instantly picked the Shadow Fiend. So feeling pretty brave here. Without the Sniper in the pool, they'll go for the Swagger Fiend.
Okay, yeah, Sniper got banned by Wheel, I see. Okay, so Shadow Fiend, minus armor aura. They've got Beastmaster attack speed aura, so those are synergistic. Your team should do a bit more damage. You're good at pushing as well, so we'll probably see a Shadow Fiend with a mech and maybe some early pushing with Beastmaster, since he gives you a really good early team fight. Earthshaker's a good counter push, though, and the Wave of Terror from Venge will also kill creeps pretty quick here, but... I don't know. I really don't know where these drafts are going to go. Voidboys could go pretty much anywhere as well. They're going to go with a Clockwork. We'll see if Void can play it as well as Sleesel did last game.
Lots of Clockwork this series. He has been the talk of the town recently.
Really? Why?
He's just been... part of it is the rise of Sniper. He's very good in that context, but a lot of teams have just been prioritizing the Clockwork. Even when Sniper's like first banned... He's just coming in handy. Even these heroes like Shadow Fiend, Lina, all these sort of easily gankable heroes that are tearing up the mid lane. Clockwork is just such an amazing tool to close that gap and, you know, lock them in place. And
a lot of the supports as well have been really low armor blink heroes too. Like we've been seeing a lot of Earthshakers, Lions. Yeah. We saw Shadow Shaman today, which maybe is a bit more rare, but a lot of heroes that can very easily get solo killed by Clock. Whereas if we talk about like when Ogre was popular, Ogre has a stupid amount of survivability. Like killing Ogre when your Clock is so hard, you actually need like all battery assault to get a kill on that. But now that we're back to squishy supports with blinks, heroes like Spectre become useful. Heroes like Clockwork become a lot better. Just heroes that have good chase and moderate damage, but maybe not enough to kill an Ogre or something like that. So that's probably why we're seeing more Clockwork. Good against Shadow Fiend as well.
Yeah.
He can only raise once, and you force him to fight you. So, waiting on bans.
Wheel thinking about it. Okay, they take out they pick the Abaddon. They're taking a much different approach to this draft. I like it.
Omni Knight version 2. Come on, man.
Yeah, I like it. I like the Abaddon. You get a nice cleanse here. Get rid of some of those big stuns.
The hero's really strong.
What they'll do with this final pick that makes, I mean, maybe they'll try something like a Weaver that can get very aggressive. I feel like they're lacking on lockdown, though. You've got those first two picks with a lot of stuns, and
yeah, I guess. I mean, you've got Beastmaster, you've got Pigs, and you've got Lion, which is pretty
good.
The
Pig slow is ridiculous. That was buffed not that long ago, and you can feel it.
I think it's about the same. I think
there was something buffed about the boar.
Well, you can summon it at level 1 now, which is the important part. But now the slow scales per level, so it goes 10, 20, 30, 40. Before, I think it would go like 15, or it'd be 0 at the first one because you couldn't get it. It would go like 0, 15, 35, 35, I think. It was something... Or no, it was like 0, 15, it was like 0, 25, 25, 35 or something like that. Because the best boar was the level 4, I think. So the scaling was a little weird. It was harder to like get value points out of it. You'd have to get 4 points before it became really good. Yeah. So it's like, you can have a level 3 boar and you can leave it there if you want to, if you just want 30% slow. And you can summon 2 now, so the boar is really good for escaping. You can use it to stack Ancients a lot, which Shadow Fiend can profit from. And all-around Beastmaster, just a strong hero. Plus his axes do only physical now. They don't do composite damage anymore because that doesn't exist anymore. So you can buff up his damage decently with Shadow Fiend Aura and things like that. So yeah, Beastmaster's a pretty good hero. I like him a lot personally. Abaddon's is good as well for keeping the Shadow Fiend alive. If the enemy team had something that could buff up the Shadow Fiend, maybe Shadow Fiend could have done way more damage in the previous game. Morphling is going to be the hero. Interesting.
Very interesting.
I doubt we'll see a Adaptive Strike stunning Morphling here because they already have a Clockwork who, again, is limited on damage. It's more of an Initiator hero. So we'll probably see a core Morphling because if this was like... I mean, it's going to be either a mid Morphling or a safe Morphling. But Morphling's still quite strong. Good at getting on top of Shadow Fiend, forcing Shadow Fiend to fight. He can stay alive through stuns and things like that. There's kind of weak lockdowns on wheel like we talked about. So if Morphling can survive the first 7 seconds of disable while morphing, then he can escape. Unless he's getting mana drain, then he's gonna have a bad time. But
yeah, it's nice to have the Clockwork with the Morphling. You need space creators. That is the one thing that I've seen with Morphling, especially in this meta where there's other carriers kind of like the Shadow Fiend that come online a lot faster, that can really do well in the late game, but also do a lot in the early stage. And Morphling is just not really that scary until usually at least like 15, 20 minutes. Maybe he can fight a little depending on what build he goes for.
It's
especially if he's in the safe lane.
It's just hard to play him right, I think, because they're going to have a tri-lane. They're going to have Morphling, Earthshaker, Revenge. That's pretty strong. They can definitely kill a Beastmaster here. Most of his damage in the early game is actually his right-click. His movement speed is terrible, and his attack range is pretty low. But if you can just waveform or attack somebody once or twice, and then waveform while they're getting chain stunned, you actually do really good damage output. So it's more about snowballing on the hero, I think. He's a carry that he looks like he just needs a lot of kills, but you can actually do amazing snowball things. You don't need a lot of items for him to be good. You just have to make sure that you kill their offlane hero and that the team fights go well for you, and you can do really good on Morphling. And since Patzel is going to be playing it, I assume, I'm actually really excited to see how this Morphling turns out, because I think he could do this really well. And the disables on wheel are point and click, so if they don't cast it in time before he waveforms, he's going to do some really annoying things here. And if he gets something like an E-Blade, he'll just start one-shotting line and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good pick. The only downside is it's not super good against Abaddon because Morphling's pretty bursty and Abaddon has his ultimate. So
yeah,
I still think it's a good carry pickup here. I would like to see Morphling more often.
I like the final ban from Voidboys though. Slardar pretty good against Morphling, even though he can morph for heavy agi. Take it all away and then compare that, or you pair that with the Shadow Fiend. It's a lot of minus armor, and boy, can that Slardar do a huge amount of damage. Burst right through that morph. So something with a silence would be amazing here. Like a Drow Ranger would be great against the Morphling, but then you've got a Clockwork who is not, or who is great against a Drow. So I don't know.
I like the Drow idea actually. It's really good for pushing. The only downside is that they're
more auras as well.
They do have 2 supports. They'd be fine. They have a Shadow Fiend. The only downside is they have 2 melee heroes instead of the typical 5 range. But it's not bad here. Clockwork is good against Drow is the only bad part, but if you can get the gust off, you can push him outside, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so.
I think Drow wouldn't be too bad here by any means, but it may not be their pick. It's a PL, actually. Okay.
All right.
Have you cast a lot of PL games?
I have seen 1 PL game so far. He's only been picked a handful of times. It's been exclusively in the safe lane, I think, where we've seen him. He pretty much a similar style to what the old PL was like, where he goes safe lane, farm, defusal, butterfly, heart. I personally have not seen much variation with the recent changes to this hero, but
I'm a little surprised about that. When I've been seeing PL games and pro games, I've been seeing Midas's, and I personally, I mean, I'm not a good player like compared to these guys, but I feel like that's the wrong item build personally, because he becomes extremely strong once he gets his Diffusal Blade. And if you get a Midas, like, you can get your Diffusal a little bit faster, but your hero doesn't super profit from the attack speed anyways. It does nothing for your illusions. It does allow you to attack faster and spawn more illusions, but it's really easy to spawn illusions. So I feel like the Midas build is the wrong way to play the hero. I think you just have to get a fast Diffusal Blade, and then you go like Scotty and like maybe some lifesteal or a heart. One of those two things. I think people are still building him a little wrong, and I think his build will be finished or figured out a lot better in the next few months, because I think he's a really good hero personally.
I know Gods is a big fan of the more kind of combative PL with these changes. This lets him actually fight in these early levels with the doppelganger, and playing him in that old style where you don't really do much until you hit critical mass, like you said, just feels a little outdated. But we'll see. We'll see how he goes. Maybe this is the game where he does something a little different here.
So we're going to see Voidboys do a level 1 smoke. They're going a bit of a different path. We don't see this that fast or that often. They didn't pop the smoke, so they're going to check over here, I guess. Maybe they'll catch the line on the way back. I don't like... Oh, they're going to catch him, I think. The smoke's going to break about the same time that they initiate, though. All right, they saw him. They saw him go over there. They should be able to initiate. It's going to be close. All right,
yeah,
easy
Tolerant doesn't see it. This is...
Whoa, he just teleported. All right, who gets the kill? All right, they're going to actually... Venge takes it. I feel they maybe should have let somebody else... Well, does Venge have boots yet? He doesn't.
No, those will be fast boots for her.
That's pretty good, then. If that was maybe Earthshaker getting the first blood, that would have been bad, but... I think it's okay in Bench here. That'll help him zone the offlane hero a bit better. It's a Beastmaster. He's going to get pig slowed a lot, and he can deal with that. And a little bit of assist gold to everybody else. Top rune's going to go to Relic, no problem uncontested. It's one of the downsides of the 5-man smoke at start, but Voidboys gets the other one, so no big deal. And it's a Ember Spirit versus an SF. I actually have no idea what this matchup is like, but I'm assuming it's not very good for Ember.
Yeah, we did not talk about the Ember Spirit pickup, as it was the 5th pick for Voidboys, but... Yeah, you've got the Flame Guard, so you can absorb some damage from the Shadow Fiend, but with the recent buff to raises, it just doesn't stand up. You can burst down that Flame Guard. Like you pointed out, it's not fun, and he'll have this support Earthshaker nearby to make his life a little easier. I think that's kind of a necessity.
That's the issue, though. You don't want the Flame Guard to go away, and Shadow Fiend definitely can make it go away. You want to keep it up so that you can do a lot of burn damage and farm and last hit with it and stuff like this. Earthshaker's doing a really good job keeping the Shadow Fiend a little scared here. But he's going to get at least 1 or 2 CS now, which should help him catch up a bit. He's just worried about getting Fissure blocked off. If he gets blocked off, he may die. There's a poor man's shield on the
There we go.
Ember,
Finally gets his first one. Alright, now the momentum gets going here for Shadow Fiend. How are these other lanes going? Looks like Derp just stacking in the jungle for now. Working on that hard camp. We talked about it in the last game. Looks like he did unblock it sentry on the high ground from the Radiant side. So that leaves PL farming the safe lane up against Mercy Please on the Clockwork. Then in the top lane, it will be a solo Sleesel up against the safe lane try. Patsol's Morphling, as we talked about. Venge will stay nearby in lane. And it is Fly on the Earthshaker that's been roaming about and keeping his presence known in the mid lane. So Beyond at least has a chance here against the Shadow Fiend, who all of a sudden has just jumped ahead in CS. And now it's 7-3 on him compared to the 2-1 Ember Spirit.
I really like the warding from the Radiant supports here, Wheels. They're basically just both putting down to check to see where the Earthshaker goes, because they know Earthshaker's going to roam between the mid lane and the top lane, and as long as they see him approaching, they don't have to worry about getting blocked off and stuff like that. So the two wards are entirely focused on making sure that Earthshaker doesn't get any early roam. So that must mean that they feel pretty comfortable in the lane setup, and they just want to not get surprised by anything. So it's an interesting adaptation to the way that Voidboys picked.
Yeah. So initial farms looking okay. Morphling versus PL in the safe lanes, getting all that farm. I just haven't seen the new PL in this matchup yet. I don't know who kind of...
I think
how the power curves compare.
I think PL's better than Morphling in a 1v1 because PL will definitely get a Diffusal Blade, and Diffusal Blade drains mana, and Morphling getting his mana drained is a bad time because he needs it to morph. Do waveform cast
Radiant
spells.
jungle, Derp in a little trouble, or is it Mercy Please that's in the jungle?
Oh,
huge cogs come in. They finish off the Abaddon as Fly and Beyond rotate through. Now Relic out of mana. Flame Guard burning him down, but Beyond can't take the tower shots. Will just be a pick off on the Abaddon, but whoa, what a turnaround that was.
That was a really nice job. Was this? Oh, he almost gets the kill. Really close, 28 damage. Really nice that the Earthshaker was there. I thought it was actually going to be Clockwork just dying, but really great Fissure. Got the kill on the Abaddon. I'm a little unsure why the Abaddon is jungling so much here. I feel like the pull camp is gone. I mean, he's not going to zone the Clockwork, I suppose, but I feel like he's... I don't know. I'm not quite sure. He went straight to the jungle, essentially, whereas he could have maybe... I mean, he can't really zone a Clockwork super well, but maybe he's just trying to save his mana. I don't know. I just feel like he's not accomplishing a lot. Oh, gank on the mid lane. There's the fissure block on Relic, and that's an easy kill.
Definitely dead. Beautiful block by Fly, and now you see the power of that Flame Guard. When he can't take it off, and you're up in his face, boy, does it do a lot of damage.
Yep, it's like a level 2 Ion Shell, something like that. It's not bad. Pretty decent. Oh, bit of a mispull there by Tolera, so he didn't connect it correctly, which means that his wave's going to stack, which means his wave's going to push. So that should guarantee at least another level or 2 for Clockwork. He'll stack his Ancient Camp, and he'll come back to Sap Experience. So it's really important that you don't miss your pulls when you're playing a support, because it's going to result in you being under-leveled and under-farmed.
Yeah. And, of course, the offlaner getting extra farm.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, Clockwork and Beastmaster doing pretty comparable. Beastmaster has a few more CS, a little more experience. He's actually rolled over to level 4. Mercy, please. So, only halfway through 3. But all things considered, the offlaners, similar to last game, getting a lot out of it here. The safe lane farmers within 4 or 5 CS of each other. Phantom Lancer. What does he have coming on this courier here? It's the Midas. So, Purge will be a little sad as he sees that come out.
Well, I mean... Again, he'll get levels, and Phantom Lancer definitely needs levels. The important ones are the lower Doppelganger cooldown, his second skill, and the most important one is his third one, is Phantom Rush cooldown. That it's the charge essentially that him and all of his illusions get. If you get that one up to level 4 a bit faster, once you get Diffusal Blade, they basically can't run away from you, and that's where PL gets interesting. He's basically a I'm gonna chase you till you die or teleport out hero, very similar to Phantom Assassin actually.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. The Phantoms.
Exactly.
Ember Spirit, I wanted to say on his road to recovery, but still not really. Wow. 29 and 10 on the Shadow Fiend, 14 and 2 on Beyond. Even with that kill, 1-0 and 2, he is still in Strug City here. Shadow Fiend's still besting him in net worth, and well, some of that's taking out that big fatty stack there that was at the hard camp.
Yep, partially done due to the Abaddon spending time in the jungle. Abaddon now roaming top, I guess, trying to get a kill. Oh, his axe has actually missed the Vengeful Spirit.
The axes. I think that would have been a kill if the axe is connected.
Oh, that's a kill, I think. Level 2 Pig. There's a slow. Great heal there from Derp. Might need a shield, but actually what he should have done is shielded the pig there, maybe. He might actually die. Oh, he is so dead now. Yeah,
Derp's dead. I don't know that would have been enough damage to kill the Venge anyhow, so...
Yeah, you're probably right, actually. And I don't even know if it breaks. If the creep despawns, does it still explode? I don't know.
Ooh, if the creep despawns.
Because that's what happened. The creep despawned, actually.
I'm actually not sure. You don't see that mechanic very often. Yeah. I want to say it doesn't explode and it just goes away, but...
I would say the opposite, but...
No,
somebody find out and tell me.
Yeah, I have no idea. I'm trying to think of any time that I've actually seen that, and I can't think of one.
Yeah, it's pretty rare. So...
So, Morphling, does Pat Soul go Midas here? Doesn't look like it. He's just on Aquila bottle, brown boots, and an elven skin band. Maybe thinking about a fast Yasha, maybe looking at power treads. But he is going to some early core items here while the PL just goes straight for the turbo farm. And will take his seat as #1 on net worth nice and early here, despite his team being behind 4-0 in hero kills.
Yeah, I don't think you need to go Midas on Morphling. The levels are okay, but the amount of items you can get are... You can just get them from snowballing, like a 1 waveform there and 2 right clicks, and Beastmaster lost half of his HP, so a hero like Morphling can contest a hero much safer than a PL can. Like, PL can spam Lances, but Lance is a weak damage nuke. It only does 250 at level 4. So, I don't know, I feel like Morphling doesn't really need a Midas to pay off. He just needs to grab some agility items and pick up some kills and be relevant in team fights. Whereas PL's strength is a bit later. Not by a huge amount, but later. Oh, gank coming.
Smoke into the Radiant Jungle. Hastered on to Beyond. They find Relic. He gets blocked out by the Fissure, stunned by a magic missile, and brought down by the Flame Guard. Beyond gets another one. 5-0 as the Ember Spirit starts to finally reclaim some lost footing here. Now 2-0 and 2, clearing out some of these creeps. He's making a resurgence, but ooh, bottom lane. Mercy, please. Seeing some trouble. Could be the other way around. He moves around the tree line. There's a hook shot across. Goes right on to Tolera. And, yeah, that Phantom Lance not going to do a hell of a lot. Line goes down, and, well, now 6-0. It's starting to add up here, Purge.
Wow. Teams have been doing a really good job playing against SF, because I'm sure they have to play against SFs every scrim, and then somebody's like, hey, let's go gank that SF in the jungle at 6 minutes, and now everybody does it, because we've been seeing it every single game against SFs that are picked on the Radiant team. Like, and that's most people only pick SF on the Radiant, by the way, because you can kill their jungle camp so much easier. It's very close to your mid lane, and it's pretty safe to farm there, unless, you know, the enemy team consistently 3-man smokes there at the 6-minute mark. So we've been seeing a lot of SFs die due to smart play from players, and that may influence Shadow Fiend picks in the future.
Yeah, and now Phantom Lancer getting zoned out a little bit in this bottom lane, not finding that free farm that he once was as more heroes have rotated down. Actually, the 2 supports to join the Clockwork. Level hook shot up in about 15 seconds, and now they group up, and the hunting begins. This is the Clockwork time to make the plays happen and make some space. Let's go around Mercy Please with a max battery assault build, 311, sitting at level 6.
Ooh, there was a smoke.
Did they see a smoke? Oh, yeah, there's definitely a ward right there. Oh, yeah, baby.
In the same vein, though, the Radiant Ward is spotting them standing here, so they know they're there. So they're look at this. See the drawing on the map? There's drawing from the Venge. They're expecting the wraparound to be on top of the Embers. So look at Ember's positioning. But in reality, they're actually ganking on the safe lane, on the top lane. So, but Morphling's also backing up just to play safe. He's got an item coming, maybe a Void Stone. No, it's actually going to be a wand. Just a wand. Oh, and a bottle. I'm sorry, it's a bottle. Bottle on Morphling is the way to go in most cases now, too. Just get a bottle, don't make a Linken's. And you can regen up with it and continue farming. You don't need lifesteal, you just need a bottle, essentially. And as soon as he realized the gank is going top, he's like, I'm just going to go farm bottom, I guess.
Okay, he'll farm against PL. The rest of his team group up, pressure the tier 1 tower mid. And Team Wheel move into the tier 1 tower up top. Looks like both sides will be pretty happy just exchanging towers for now. And Patzel actually denies that bottom tower.
It's pretty good. He'll get a rune in about 30 seconds, and in the meantime, Dire Team's taking mid tower, and that's way worse than losing your safe lane tower. The mid tower, like, look how many more paths there are that you can run into the enemy team's jungle now. That's like 3 extra paths that you can use just to move into their jungle, and so it's gonna be even harder for them to farm than it was. And Relic actually staying behind trying to get a tower. He's going to die for this for sure. Deny on the Vengeful Spirit. Big deny there, and I don't think he'll get away.
No hook shot, but there are some power cogs.
He's going to have to TP, but he's so screwed. I don't know. There's like no way that he doesn't catch him.
Yeah.
And that's going to be Relic dying.
Lion makes it out. Oh, Derp's on his way in. A Photic Shield. Maybe. Buying Relic a little bit of time. No Requiem of Souls. So no way to really turn this around, and now Derp, he's not even level 6. He's just going to feed his life away, Purge. 8-0 in hero kills. It's not done yet. Now Sleesel gets stove beyond. He charges forward and stunned up, but now the stun comes the other way. Sleesel ticking down. Venge snipes the last hit with that howl. Doing it Sindel style with that wave of terror. Nicely played. And domination across the map as the Voidboys jump further into the lead.
They're playing really well right now. Really, really nice plays by Voidboys. They've just been controlling the map all over the place. They've been setting up ganks on the Shadow Fiend. I mean, Fissure is really dangerous as a Shadow Fiend, because if you ever get blocked off, you just die, so... And especially against an Ember Spirit, it's a melee hero that generally wins a 1v1 fight, because he has a poor man's shield and he has a magic shield. So, maybe not the best matchup for Ember Spirit, but the ganks have just been setting things up correctly. Now Relic's died 3 times. He's got really good farm, but, you know, they denied wards and they're still making a lot of pressure on the map.
Yeah, I mean, his net worth still seems pretty solid, but he just, like you said, not really pressuring much. Now he at least has the Requiem of Souls, so potential for turnaround kills in situations like that. Even that Death Requiem can help level things out a bit. Working on the mech, has the headdress, but still pretty far away from the rest of it. They'll see Mercy Please nearby. Actually, do they see him? Yes, they do. They've got a ward right here. The Clockwork heads back to friendly territory for now.
And Venge getting some solo experience mid and farm as well. Probably going to make either a medallion or an urn. She's actually doing, well, I was going to be like, wow, her KDA is so good, she hasn't died yet. But in reality, it's, you know, the entirety of Voidboys haven't died yet, so...
Yeah.
They're doing pretty well. Smoke on the Clock and the Venge. It's a good ganking duo. They can kill just about anybody. Probably not Phantom Lancer, though. That guy's really difficult to kill due to his doppelganger. So the game is going to come down to how well fans of Soyan can catch up here and impact team fights, because they're just not in a good place right now. And they've been evading all the ganks from the Radiant team as well. Beastmaster wants to roar with a stun from Talera. We might see Beyond die here if he shows himself in lane.
Does he venture over? He's nearby. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, his team's all smoked up. They've got a replicate smoked as well. They'll rotate through looking for someone. They may bump into the PL. He's got a TP scroll, but can they lock him down?
He sets a jump to the right. Oh, he's down cooldown.
He doesn't have it. Oh, my. That's just unlucky. Great timing from Voidboys as they strike gold on the Phantom Lancer. Morphling even gets credit for the kill. Doesn't get much better than that, but hasted up Relic. Could they turn this around? Hook shot in. Power cogs not coming out. It's on cooldown, but there's a slam dunk. Sleesel in some trouble. Shadow Fiend's already gone down. Finger on the Clockwork. First kill of the game comes out for Wheel, but it comes at a grave cost here, Purge. Now Talera gets caught. It's a 1-for-4 trade. Abaddon, the only survivor, because he never even made it to the fight to begin with. Another disastrous team fight despite getting their first kill.
Yeah, I mean... I want to criticize Yellow a little bit for using his second skill to farm. I don't really agree with that very much. Like, when you use your second skill, it spawns one illusion that does 0 damage but takes normal damage, and you spawn another illusion that takes way more damage and deals 20%. So by using Doppelganger, all he's doing is giving more illusions to proc more illusions, and also getting an illusion that does 20% damage. So by using this to farm, which very marginally increases his farm rate, he definitely just died. Because if he had Doppelganger, he easily could have just jumped from that large camp and then jumped over to the high ground, like very, very easily, and he shouldn't have died there. Like, I can't justify using Doppelganger to farm like that, because you have a 45% chance on your auto attack to spawn it. You're gonna get illusions just from auto attacking.
Yeah. Oh, mid lane, they almost jump onto Pat Soul. The bottom tier 1 tower falls the Ember Sphere, but now they set it up. Oh, swap back right onto Yellow. Doppelganger away. Can they find the kill here? They've got Searing Chains, they've got magic missiles, and he's dead. Clockwork throws his life away, but he zones out the whole team so they can bring down the PL. Ends up being a 1-for-1.
And that's the other issue with the hero, is movement speed is still really slow, like it always used to be. So if they have any more mobility than you do, you're just caught, and he's gonna die. So I mean, we could criticize him for the first death, but that one is just not a whole lot you could do other than maybe not be in the mid lane. So once they got that close to him, he was dead. And that's maybe one of the weaknesses of PL. But if he didn't have a Midas, he would definitely have a Diffusal Blade by now, so maybe he could fight, but that's hard to say.
Yeah.
The enemy team's really far ahead.
Lion could bump into Beyond here. There's one remnant in the lane. Searing Chains connect. He turns him into a frog. He might just die from the DOTs. Venge is there. Yeah.
Swapped his ally accidentally, misclicked there, but they actually still did get him in time. Yeah. I think maybe he's trying to swap now. He should have swapped the hero.
Yeah, he could have just swapped to interrupt the TP, but he swapped in and got that last auto attack, so it worked out, but
that was a chaos.
A little bit of a funky way to go about it.
So looking really bad for Wheels here. We're gonna maybe see a hook on the Shadow Fiend any second here.
Yeah, well, Searing Chains set it up. That's nice and easy. Now the cogs come out. They push back Derp.
I think he's still gonna die, but
yeah, I think that's pretty nicely done. No Aphotic Shield, no Miscoil.
Yeah, where's the Abaddon been this game? I feel like he's
been trying to find level 6. That's what that's been his mission for a while.
He could have pulled so early. I mean, Lion needs pulls as well, but I just feel like he hasn't been able to accomplish anything. He either needs to be sitting behind the heroes that are getting ganked, or he needs to pull and get levels. I don't know. I mean, he did do some stacking for the Shadow Fiend, but a lot of that was shut down due to wards and ganking, so maybe that's why we're not seeing as much out of him. The Shadow Fiend's a bit weaker than he should be, therefore Abaddon has never been able to, like, keep the guy that's about to win you the team fight alive. So because Shadow Fiend's behind, this catch-up mechanic of stay alive and win the team fights is just not there for Abaddon, and that's why he looks like he's doing bad. I don't know. It's a hard game when you've only gotten 2 kills. Like, that's where Abaddon gets his gold, is from assist gold.
Yeah. And now Rochan, under assault, dies in just a matter of seconds with all that minus armor, Medallion, as well as the roar up on Venge. Cecil in the mid lane gets caught by the fissure. Can anyone else get there to close the gap?
He's got a TP in 13. He could. Alright, I like this hiding spot, but then
you said that as if he was about to TP out, and it's like that 13 seconds feels like an eternity when you're that deep in enemy territory. I mean, he will not make it.
The reason they're being so aggressive on the middle lane and stuff like this is because they need to split push as much as they can, because they know they're stupidly far behind. If you look at the graphs, you know, 7.5k is a huge amount for 16 minutes. So they have to split push. They have to try to get little increments of gold advantage back in their favor so that they can try to take a team fight and at least have it be semi-equal, and it's tough. So they keep overextending a bit, trying to take towers while the enemy team is elsewhere, and they keep dying for it. So I mean, it's okay. I would take a tower. If you're this far behind, taking a tower for an offlaner is fine, I think.
Alright, Voidboys now with an Aegis in hand. They've got a pretty big lead, about 7,500 gold and XP. Fly has a Blink Dagger now on the Earthshaker. Very big pickup there. Pat Soul did actually go for the Lincoln, so in your face, Purge.
Damn, he got me. Well, let's see why it's good. Stops Roar. That's really good. It stops Mist Coil. It stops all line disables, and it stops the Spirit Lance. So it stops some pretty good stuff. Yeah. If you can stop a Hex, a Roar, an Impale, that's pretty fantastic. It basically means that he can't die anymore. There's already pretty limited disables coming out of the Radiant team, and now it's one less. So it's going to be a bit tough for them.
Yep. Now, Wheel grouped up as 4. They just don't have a lot of space to farm right now. You look at Radiant Vision, and they've got surprisingly good wards down, but still feel like they need to stay kind of grouped up. They've got 2 around the mid lane, and they've got a lane war down in the bottom that's about to expire. I thought they had 1 more. Maybe they're standing on it here. I'm not sure where it got off to, but pretty decent coverage. The ward. Oh yeah, there's one outside Roche, but none that are really opening up a lot of spaces to farm. And now here we go. Mercy comes in, goes right onto Relic. A big dunk from Fly as he shows off that blink dagger. They lose the clockwork, but down goes the Beastmaster. Relic gets off the Requiem. Death Requiem can do a lot here. It'll get beyond low, but he lives. 1 for 2 clockwork. The only hero that's died this game. He represents all 3 deaths. Some TPs home. Fissure falls a little bit short, and it will be a 1 for 2.
There was no way they were going to win that team fight there. Phantom Lancer, his TP wasn't off cooldown yet by the time the fight started, and it was pretty good positioning from Wheels there, but the observer wards that the Dire team is placing is just keeping them on the ball. Like, they always know where they are. So they initiated, Phantom Lancer couldn't show up immediately, and a great Cogs and Fissure, and then the combo from Ursh. Oh, there's another kill. Like, well. A Blink Dagger. If you're 6-0 and 10 on Earthshaker, oh man, it's just so hard to win this game now. They just died to a little bit too much. I don't know if, what to criticize here. Is it picks? Is it play? I think that Voidboys just played really well, honestly.
I think Voidboys have played well, but it also just feels like the PL and the Beastmaster have not worked out well as picks. Beastmaster 0, 4, and 3. This is a tempo controlling hero. One, you want to be using that ultimate as much as possible. He just hasn't had any good openings. That, I'd say, is a testament to Voidboys. But the PL is just... I think they saw that Morphling. He was hoping to be able to sit back, get his hand of Midas, farm for 45 minutes, and then blow him up, but Voidboys are not playing that game. 20 minutes in, they're bringing down these outer towers quick.
Yeah, they have 2 passive farming heroes, the Shadow Fiend and the PL, and they have 1 passive support, so it's basically up to the line and the Beastmasters set up kills. And if they don't set up kills, then they lose the game, because the enemy team's going to gank better with all their ganking heroes. They can gank with Ember, they can gank with Clock, they can gank with Venge, they can gank with Earthshaker, and they can also gank with Morphling. But Morphling's more of a farmer, so... I feel like they just have way more gank opportunities, and they didn't get as much out of their safe lane as Voidboys did. So that's why they're losing so bad, I think.
Tier 2 tower in the top lane, soon to be demolished into rubble. We'll see Sleesel nearby the bottom lane, just scouting out with the bird, sees beyond nearby.
Radiant's top tower
He'll be okay for now. He's got that Gosu vision there. Still another free tower, only 1 outer tower remaining, and my question for Wheel right now is, what is the play to get back into this game? They have just been steadily falling further and further behind. I think the option of like counting on Roche to try and turn this one around is not really something that you can rely on. PL, not much farm outside of the Diffusal Blade, the beginning of another Yasha, or of a Yasha with that next Diffusal Blade. What's the play here? How do you even hope to get back in this game?
Well, Sleesel's in the right position. He's looking to maybe get a kill on whoever came to the bot lane, but it's a Morphling who has an Aegis. And the PL just left another initiation mid. Looks like on Abaddon.
Derp in trouble again. This time at least he's 6, so he has borrowed time. We'll go ahead and borrow it now. His soul is indebted. And, yep, he's going to go down in a matter of seconds once that time is no longer available.
The stacks.
This is almost bigger than that Abaddon kill, honestly.
Yeah.
This is at least like a triple stack, if not a quad stack.
I think it was a quad stack.
Yeah,
maybe.
That's a big one.
Just got his Battle Fury. They're going to finish out the Ancients, and 21-3. The Gold Advantage continues. Relic doesn't even feel safe coming out of his base. There could very easily be a ward in the middle here, spotting and moving in the jungle. Like, this is your fallback. I'm losing the game, farm this position, but there's almost always an observer ward going to scout you going there. So it's just so tough. Even Venge is like, I'm going to get a headdress because we're so far ahead. Nobody ever buys this on Venge, but I'm going to get it.
Yeah. Is this just a 3-2-2 tap out here, Purge? Is that what Wheel is holding on for? Is that the play?
I don't know, man.
I want to say probably not, given that this is not an elimination match, but a deciding match in this group stage that is comprised of best of 3s.
And every game means a big thing. I mean, if we look at TI4 for an example, if we're just looking at like wins and losses, whichever team is placed higher might get seeded into the bracket that gets to play at the Star Ladder Finals. So I mean, even a best of 3 like this could mean a huge difference down the line. So it's really important to make sure you take every game really seriously.
Well, the shotgun's loaded up on the Morphling. Pat Soul.
Oh my gosh, and a Lincoln's.
Yep, ready to get this this hunting season in full effect here. 23 minutes. He is pretty damn massive. This is a good timing to have this kind of an inventory with another 600 gold to go.
I'm kind of surprised he bought a bottle and then sold it so fast. Like
I thought he had a bottle at some point.
He picked up a bottle. Might have been somebody else's. Maybe it was the Ember's bottle or something. Maybe I just looked at the ownership.
I saw him holding onto a bottle and didn't really think twice about it.
He either sold it way too early or he borrowed it. So either way is fine. It's kind of cool maybe to borrow it, but I feel like an Ember kind of needs to keep that. So anyways, the tier 2 tower is going to fall. They're going to go for the high Rax attempt, or the bot Rax attempt. There's no Aegis left. It has despawned, but there's a mechanism on the Vengeful Spirit in addition to his medallion. He's going to have some mana problems here, but it's really just about ending the game. If he gets a mech, they have a much better chance of doing that, because that's 250 HP. That's a vitality boost to everybody on this team.
Well, this is the hold that we'll need to make. A bit of a whiffed hook shot there to get things started. Need to really show that dire creep who's boss.
Got him.
They still get half damage
shit-talking pause
to this tower, and, well, Sleesel needs 2 minutes in all caps. Sounds serious.
Wants to, I don't know, tweet something depressing.
Emergency bathroom.
Possibly.
Who knows?
Could be it. I don't think there's a whole lot that's going to save them this game, though. I mean, the PL's actually really farmed. He's got a Yasha and a Diffusal Blade, and when he tread switches about 1100 HP, which is certainly not enough.
Is he really that farmed, though? You take away the Midas gold from his net worth. And
I guess that's 2k, so he's really about 8k. I just feel like the Midas is not the way to go on PL. I don't know. Like, getting a Diffusal Blade and fighting is really strong. If you can, like, snowball and get 3 kills out of it, like, that's better than a Midas already. And he could have had his Diffusal Blade way earlier, because the Midas is 2k gold. It's over 2k. What is it, 2050 right now? Something like that. 2050 for a hand of Midas. The Diffusal Blade is 3150. So for a mere 50% more gold, you get an item that makes you so strong, because all of your illusions will then spawn more illusions and do feedback damage, and then you can slow people as well. Like, they actually can't get away from you. If you find anybody solo, they just die, except for Earthshaker. He'll probably kill you, but like, I don't know. I just don't. Every time I see PL played, he's always getting Midas, and I don't entirely understand it. Maybe it's because PL farms a lot slower than he used to in the past, because he can't just like send his illusions everywhere and get 800 GPM. Maybe that's why people get Midas, because they have trouble against hard carries, and he's more of like a carry into battling. Yeah. So he like forces you to fight, and if your fights go bad, you lose. So I don't know. Maybe it's a play issue. Maybe the hero needs to be buffed a little bit more. I'm not sure. But if he just passively farms, it's not like he's even that hard to gank. If they have blinks or something and good chase.
Yeah.
I just don't know what the solution is. Maybe just get Midas, get a Diffusal Blade, force an early fight, get 4 kills, and then win the game. Because you'll be so ahead at that point. I don't know.
We need to see more experimenting with him. That is the one thing that's for sure. This is only the second game I've ever cast with him, and both games now it's been a pretty comparable build. Hand of Midas, fast Diffusal. Then after that, it's a specific to that game what he looks for, but all pretty straightforward. Drums, Manta. We all know what PL likes.
Yeah, the Midas hasn't quite paid off yet. It's pretty close. He got it around like 5 minutes, I think. So it's probably paid off by now, but he's died 2 times, so you could argue something else would have been better. But this is essentially the build. Treads, Diffusal Blade, Manta, and then you get a Scotty, so that you can permanently slow people, or a Heart. People have been buying a lot of Heart, which I think might be a mistake as well, because it does give you more HP, but you don't have to worry about your illusion HP. You just have to worry about yourself and some utility. So I don't know. The PL build, I don't feel good about it yet. I feel like it needs to be thought about a bit more and maybe played differently. I'm not sure.
Well, while we're stuck in this pause, I guess we can make mention of the next series coming up. It is scheduled to start 10 minutes ago, so we're already running overtime as our first series has gone the stretch into Game 3. We've had quite a few pauses like this as well. It will be E-Hug versus Pain.
That should be good.
As our next series. Yeah, a pretty even matchup. I got to pull up the E-Hug. The E-Hug lineup, though, because...
who's playing on them?
I know it's like the Infinity stack, but God, man, NA Dota changes so quickly. And, okay, Yawar, Infinity, MJW, and Trouf are the 4 that they have listed as their actives. Okay.
I've heard really good things about MJW. Infinity's fantastic. Yawar is...
But who knows? That's Sumail's brother.
Yeah, Sumail's brother.
I wouldn't get too excited, really, though, Purge. There's a fair chance Trouf might not be there. MJW might not be there. Who knows if this is the roster they signed up for Starladder with.
If that's their roster, that's actually a fantastic roster, I think. Yeah. I think all those players are really good. And
then Ryu Zaw was their 5th, not to be confused with Ryu Borez. Different Ryu. But he's listed as a stand-in, so I'm not sure if he's still playing with the team.
What an instant retweet here.
Yeah, so...
I'm really surprised they're going back. I feel like they just spent all the whole time thinking about it, and they said, we're so far ahead, let's not chance this. We're so stupidly far ahead that we can just get map control. I mean, they've got a 14k gold advantage, their EXP is pretty similar. they can just get map control, hold things back, wait till next Roche, and then win. Because there we go. Roche is respawning in less than 3 minutes. It's a little bit under 2, actually. So if they just get Aegis and then do it, I think that's a lot safer. So there is a chance that they could lose the fight. I think they have a really solid chance of winning off of a push there, but they're just going to play it safe.
Yeah. Yeah,
they thought about it. They're sitting there like, do we want to lose this game right now? And they're like, hell no.
Yeah. Pat Soul picks up a Blade of Alacrity, probably a Yasha / Manta style coming on him. So still plenty of space for this Morphling to grow. We're still very early on in this game. It feels like this game's gone on a lot longer given how far ahead the Voidboys are and how aggressive they're being as they instantly go back to this bottom lane and look to apply some more pressure. Ember Spirit even has a Crystallis now to go with this first Battle Fury. The big bag Cleave and Ember Spirit, who was off to such a poor start, is now about 1,500 net worth above the Shadow Fiend, who was besting him for quite some while.
Well, that's the creep wave gone. Ooh, here comes the E-Blade. Almost kills Relic with the one shot.
Wow.
He was trying to get him to pop his BKB there. He's trying to scare him there, but Relic felt comfortable in his survivability. It's really good he didn't pop that. If he popped his BKB, the game's 100% over. Because then they just would have came back in the next push, and there's no way SF would have survived. So
well, PL is split pushing. He's got the Lion with him. They'll get the tier 3 tower. PL slowly but surely chopping that wood on the tier 2 up top. Dire still have a glyph. I feel like they're just playing with him right now. Now the glyph comes out. It's a 5v3 at the base. And
Looks gotta be careful.
Not really making a hold here. They'll be happy to get that tier 2, but it's a lane of barracks down without much competition.
This is smart. They're behind enough where they feel like the Roche is gonna, or I'm sorry, the Rax is gonna go. That if they took that fight, they would lose it. So this gives them the possibility of maybe winning. They weren't ready to take that team fight, so I guess they want to wait at least until Manta on PL, or maybe a blink on the line. He's kind of close to. If they get Manta on PL and a blink on the line, and they initiate properly, they could win a fight. But that one would have been really tough. But they're gonna take Roche, so their chances of winning the next fight are still really bad.
Yes, sir. 26 minutes in. Roche number 2 about to go down. PL does manage to grab his Manta style. Gets that second core item after the Hand of Midas. Morphling grabs the Aegis. No surprise there. And that's his Yasha up.
So it's a bit short, or a bit slow. Maybe. I mean, it's really good farm by all means on PL. But I think when people played PL in the past, they would get Manta Diffusal around 22. But he's got a Midas on top of that. So I think the farming of PL is a little bit slower here, definitely. But I don't know.
Well, that'll happen when you're behind 3 to 21.
And you're behind. I mean, that's the biggest thing. I'm sure if he had a kill or two, he would have been a lot faster. So yeah, I shouldn't even have said that.
There's also a Force Staff up on the Earthshaker now to go with his blink. Okay. So he is highly mobile.
He's going to be looking for SF. If he can initiate on SF without SF BKBing, then he can blow him up right away, especially in combination with the Morphling. So Relic's got to be really careful here. He's got a mech and he's got a BKB. And
Beyond pushes back top, and then he joins the fight using those fire remnants.
On the bright side, they do have... Look at that. Oh, look at that name. See how much that was? That was amazing, wasn't it? The Earthshaker just lost 300 HP, and that was Illusions hitting him for just a brief amount of time.
Yeah.
Like, it's actually really good damage. I don't know. But if you look at it now, if you can make it to 24 minutes without fighting, yeah, Midas is paid off. But anything before that, Midas is not working out.
Yeah, here we go.
Oh,
this
my
is the
God.
initiation. Sleesel goes down so fast he lives, but then gets blown up by the Morphling shotgun. Fast one for nil. 3-2-2 has been achieved, and now the hook shot in. Repels Relic. Searing Chains fly through, and Voidboys just have the superior poke right now. They move to the high ground and shove Wheel Black deeper into their base. Tolera, look at him. He just goes from full to 0 in a matter of seconds. He will buy back instantly.
Ooh, and they stole the PL illusion. Oh, he gets disabled or killed.
Also a double damage rune on the Ember Spirit right now.
Oh, it was a buyback from Lion. Lion killed it, I think.
Yeah. And a buyback on the Beastmaster. So 2 buybacks used. They don't bring down the tier 3 tower, but a huge net worth gain from Voidboys, and there's just nothing stopping them from doing this again. They didn't really burn any big cooldowns. They used a hook shot, but it's up in 15.
Yeah. The most important one was the Finger of Death from Lion got used, and then they just earned it to counter it. It's the worst thing about not dying. It's very easy to heal HP if you haven't earned an mech compared to big ultis like Finger of Death. So this is still going to be so hard to defend. The pig's almost dead. We almost just need the PL to go. There's the combo going in.
Relic goes down in a matter of seconds. He buys back quickly. PL barely lives, but he's got just a couple of hit points to spare. Flying out 4 stabs to the low ground. He'll live. Tower goes down. Requiem does next to nothing. Tickles Pat Soul, but he's just fine. And he's also got an Aegis to play with. Now the cogs break things up. It's a dieback for the Lion. Swap across onto Derp Derp. He's got the ulti, borrowed time, brings him back up to full HP, but now out of options. They bring him down, they slay his horse, and say goodnight to Arthas. Rampage now for the Morphling. Is this going to be a second Rampage? He's trying to figure out which is the real PL.
He's got it.
Is the double Rampage. What a way to go out. Pat Soul with an amazing showing, 11, 0, and 5 on the Morphling. It is the Voidboys that do it with a very convincing final fight.
Yeah, there's just really safe play from them. They got a lot of kills. They played really aggressive. They shut down the Shadow Fiend that prevented the Radiant team from doing any kind of an early fight. And because we had a Midas on the PL, like, he just couldn't participate in early fights, in addition to the fact that they were behind. The Abaddon didn't get a whole lot accomplished either. There's way too much pressure going on to the Radiant team there, so they get crushed.
I think my favorite stat from this game, Purge, is that Clockwork was the only hero to die on the Dire side.
Clockwork's the hero's supposed to feed, man. He's
2, 3, and 14.
He's got a blade mill. Death's on purpose.
That's his job.
So,
well played by the Voidboys.
Yeah, well played by Voidboys. Really good series, I think. Pretty convincing game 2, and then a very extremely convincing game 3. So that was really well played by Voidboys, and even Wheels played really fantastic throughout the whole set. I was really happy with that set. It was really fun.
Yeah, so hopefully it's a precursor of things to come. We've got a whole nother best of 3 for you guys for the opening day of Star Ladder Season 12 Americas. And coming up next, like we mentioned, it'll be E-Hug versus, I said it, Purge, and I've already forgotten.
Pain.
Do you remember?
I got you, man.
Pain Gaming, that's it. E-Hug versus Pain. So we'll have a break, and that series should be starting ASAP. Thank you so much for joining us, folks. I'm Zyori, he's Purge. We'll see you guys after this break.